Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Right, you never know what you're going to get with a free transfer. Sometimes they're absolute bargain buy masterstrokes, other times they're a complete waste of both wages and lunches in the canteen. Christ, well, look at Willian this season. Do you reckon any Arsenal dinner lady actually feels like cooking him a plate of lasagna? Christ, they'd probably feel like force feeding him a bowl of pigeon sweat. So let's rate every single Premier League free transfer arrival this season. Right, let's go. CEDRIC SOARES 0 out of 10. This just sums up Arsenal's wacky transfer policy. After his anonymous loan spell from Southampton last season, even CEDRIC SOARES was probably halfway through packing his suitcase in the summer and checking out of his London travel lodge. Instead, choosing to offer him a 4-year contract in June is like a Hollywood director offering the lead role in a movie to a guy who got sick on the floor during his audition and was caught sticking his knob in the photocopy machine. Who's making these recruitment decisions at Arsenal? Some senile old Peggy from down the nursing home? CEDRIC is a Portuguese international, clearly happy with just 5 minutes against his former club. Oh yeah, and a few Europa League games against European powerhouses such as Rapid Vienna, Dundalk and Molt. You know, the club would probably have a statue erected to the managerial genius of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Good Christ. Willian 1 out of 10. Absolute wet porridge. Willian by all rights should be stuffed in the Chinese wasteland, looking good against part-time plumbers from Hong Kong, not earning £500,000 every fortnight to completely stink up the Emirates. He's contributed to the worst ever start. How does he start every match? How does he keep getting away with this? Yes, he racked up 3 assists in his debut against Fulham, but since then he's been less effective than a defibrillator made in a Blackpool sweatshop. No goals, 3 assists, one of the worst signings of 2020. Not just in the Premier League, but in any sport worldwide. Adam Lallana 5 out of 10. Considering he's a Premier League and European champion, a guy with a fatter trophy captain than Steven Gerrard, Brighton might have expected Adam Lallana to stroll into their team and immediately become the best player. Nah, not really. Yeah, he staved off injury quite well and he appeared in all but 2 of their games, but he's yet to bang in a goal and contributed just 1 assist in 12 matches. The last time this man was the star of a mid-table club, he was racking up 10 goals and 8 assists in 38 games for Southampton, so this is a slightly underwhelming return. But I think it might be time to finally admit, in the same way it might be tough to admit that modern day Simpsons is probably as bad as the Big Bang Theory, that Adam Lallana might actually not be that good anymore. Thiago Silva 9 out of 10. Yeah, I think I should probably admit I was wrong about Thiago Silva when I compared him to a washed up billy goat who should have been sooner chucked down an old folks home than given a highly paid gig at Chelsea. I honestly thought he'd be more suited to the sport of pictionary and chess than he would stepping foot on a Premier League pitch at his old age. Christ above, for a man of his utter talent, he hasn't been so insulted on the internet since Joey Barton questioned the legitimacy of his knob. Listen, I'm sorry, I was just confused why Frank Lampard was handing the captain's armband to a 36-year-old old man when the club's best ever centre half was binned off like a soggy custard cream at the same age. But fair play, clearly Silva has superhuman genes with an ultra-fast metabolism and a body refusing to break down. Christ above, if he even looked in the direction of a doner kebab, he'd probably start bleeding from the ears. After a nightmare debut against West Brom, he settled in perfectly, contributed to 8 clean sheets, even scored a couple of goals. I'll admit it, what a masterstroke of a signing. Nathan Ferguson 0 out of 10. Yes, Nathan Ferguson is the highly rated 20-year-old defender arriving on a 3-year deal from West Brom in the summer. But clearly the football gods didn't agree with him using the Hawthorns as nothing more than a set of training wheels, just a ladder to further his career, because he's since been struck down with a serious knee injury and hasn't yet played for the club. Sorry, but that has to be a 0 out of 10. Nathaniel Klein 6 out of 10. Nathaniel Klein probably can't believe his luck. It was only a few years ago he was England's first choice right back. No, nowadays he's probably Gareth Southgate's 13th choice. If that, injuries have swallowed this guy's career, turning him to football's forgotten man, wasting away the Anfield sidelines. Christ, it took him until 2 weeks before Halloween to actually find himself a job. So you'd assume his fitness levels would be utter wet porridge, right? That he'd probably get a stitch going to the toilet and probably sweats when he eats. No, he started 8 games for Crystal Palace, under the guy who used to pick him for England, and he's contributed to 3 wins, but he also played the full 90 as his former teammate stuck 7 past his goalie. That was probably a bit embarrassing. James Rodriguez 8 out of 10. I still can't work out how James Rodriguez was actually a freebie arrival at Everton in the summer. It doesn't make sense. How is a player of his quality available for less than the price of a ham and cheese toastie? Just ridiculous. Listen, he started well at Goodison Park. The team won all of their first 4 games, sat top of the league, and he had 3 goals and 3 assists by game week 5. Since then, it's been a bit of a stutter. He's played 5 games since, only 1 of them was a win. There's been no more goals or assists. He started the last few games with an injury, and fantasy football experts nationwide probably ditched him quicker than Katie Price ditches the husband. Hopefully this wasn't just a bright start and he does actually manage to kick on, because I'm sorry, a player of his quality should not be struggling to find his way past Gylfi Sigurdsson. Edinson Cavani 7 out of 10. Okay, I'll admit it, Edinson Cavani has done slightly better than I predicted. When he arrived, I assumed he'd just be a washed up lump of fudge soaking up wages like Radamel Falcao 5 years ago. Now, he's not been a short-term masterstroke signing like Robin Van Persie, and within 5 years United fans will probably forget he was even at the club, but he's been better than I thought. He's already played a part in 11 games, slammed in a goal in that 3-1 win at Goodison Park, netted 2 late goals to seal a 3-2 comeback win at Southampton, which is exactly what Van Persie did in August 2012, don't forget. Maybe he'll just be a one-game wonder, but lads, Man United fans still toss themselves off under the breakfast table to the memories of Henrik Larsson's apparently incredible short-term spell at Old Trafford in 2007, and sorry lads, Cavani has already had a bigger impact than him. Mark Gillespie, 3 out of 10. Mark Gillespie was always going to be third choice goalkeeper at Newcastle this season. Don't get me wrong, for a boy at Geordie who was part of the academy until he was 16 years of age, quitting for Carlisle in 2008, oh, it must have been a dream come true to return to Newcastle on a freebie from Motherwell in July. He's only played 3 times in the EFL Cup, his debut was a clean sheet and a 1-0 win over Blackburn, then his second game was standing in goal during that 7-0 win at Morecane, although let's be honest, Steve Bruce could have stuck a dead houseplant in nets and it wouldn't have made a difference to the scoreline. Then he takes his place against Newport County and utterly crumbles like a soggy Kit Kat for the opening goal. Yeah, it ended well, winning on penalties, but still, what a howler. And then he wasn't trusted for the quarter-final against Brentford, so it hasn't been great. Jeff Hendrick, 2 out of 10. If you were told back in April, when takeover talk was rife, that Newcastle would be signing a full international on a free transfer, a midfielder linked to both Man United and AC Milan, oh, you'd assume they're bringing in someone like Mario Götze. Nah, instead it's Jeff Hendrick. Yes, he battered in a great goal against West Ham in his debut, but since then he's been so bad, he's made his predecessor Nabil Bentaleb look like Zidane, just utterly woeful, no impact in midfield, he's since lost his place. Honestly, every time I watch Hendrick, I just think my grandmother could do better in midfield, and she's been stuck in a wheelchair since 1996. Ryan Fraser, 4 out of 10. There are a lot of problems at Newcastle right now. Ryan Fraser's been okay, not brilliant but okay, but when he thought he was too good to help Bournemouth out in a relegation battle, he probably had visions of playing week in, week off Arsenal or Tottenham right about now. Nah, instead he's just a bit part player under Steve Bruce. He started just 2 league games, one of them was that 5-2 embarrassment against Leeds, so I wouldn't exactly stick that one on the fridge. He's only completed 90 minutes once, and that was a stale 1-1 draw at Newport County. He scored against Blackburn in the EFL Cup, weighed in with 2 assists. Gone are the days of rivaling Eden Hazard at the top of the assist charts. Now he's just another Jacob Murphy. Wes Fotheringham, 1 out of 10. Remember when Wes Fotheringham nearly had a meltdown on the pitch after Paolo Di Canio substituted him for Swindon? Do you reckon now, when he can't even make the bench for Sheffield United, that he's probably vomiting out his nose? He's played no Premier League games, just 1 EFL Cup game, losing a penalty shootout to Burnley. It's not been ideal for a guy who used to be Rangers #1. Joe Hart, 5 out of 10. After publicly campaigning for a club to give him some first team football, what a mental decision for Joe Hart to try and get his career back on track by trading Burnley's bench for Tottenham's. Christ, his career's been stuck in a dumpster for 4 years. But still, moving to Tottenham, yeah, you might win the Europa League, but it's not going to get you back in the England team now, is it? He's done well when he played though. Started in the FA game in Europe, kept 3 clean sheets. He's done okay, but it's not going to turn Gareth Southgate's head. Branislav Ivanovic, 4 out of 10. Branislav Ivanovic has done about as well as expected. This is the type of form I was expecting from Thiago Silva, who's the same age as Ivanovic. The Serbian has been a shadow of his Chelsea days. Sure, he's done well to force his way into the starting 11 for 7 games, but only one of them was a win, and that was against Sheffield United, a team too allergic to actually cross the damn ball. He's been on the losing side 5 times, one of which was a shocking 5-1 reversal over Crystal Palace. Do you really think Sam Allardyce is going to persist with this Serbian pensioner? Not a chance in a pig's nutsack. Anyway, that's the end of it, lads. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while. Oh yeah, and happy Christmas, I guess.